Hello everybody, this is Corey Michael Sanchez here, and welcome to today's coaching call. This is a really special one, and actually, we have really back over the next few weeks, really awesome speakers, and of course, this is meant to be, customers only for Mojo. And so you're going to actually learn a lot today about SEO, and you're going to learn from one of my experts, one of my mentors. And I actually went to his meetup. He's a local guy, lives in Arizona, but he is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to search engine optimization. So I went to his SEO. I heard from a friend of mine that I should go, so I went, and I was blown away by what, Reyer is his name. You can see him here on the screen right there. Let me kind of bring that up so you can see that. And what's really cool is that he's had some phenomenal success, not only for for him, but also for his students, his clients, all of that. And so we're actually going to show you some really cool stuff here today that you can use immediately over the next couple of weeks to see results and success. And
right, so we see some questions coming in here. Corey, can you give me the first question?
Yeah, let me go for the. Kurt asks, will Google sandbox your site if your site is on a shared plan where an actual sandbox site is located? So maybe talk about what a sandbox is and what that actually means.
Well, I think we got two questions here, Corey. If it's on a shared site and if it's a sandbox. First off, the Google sandbox really, doesn't exist as the way it used to be a couple of years ago. Basically, Google has become very social, and if there are people talking about you, talking about your website, and it's not necessarily have to be links. It could be mentions of your website in social media, Facebook, Twitter. You're going to rise to the top. You don't have to play in the sandbox anymore. 2 years ago, if you launched a new website, and Google never officially recognized this, but 2-3 years ago, if you launched a new website, you'd basically be in what was called the sandbox. You had to sit there for maybe 6 months to a year until you could prove yourself. Well, that's no longer the case anymore. You launch a website, we've launched websites, and within days, if not hours, if it's really good quality content on the website, people are mentioning and talking about it in social media, and that's Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus was just released here recently within the last couple of months. As long as there's things happening in the social space, you're going to be on the, you're going to start rising, and you're not going to be in the sandbox. But this is something that could get you in trouble. I like, let's go, there's a website that I like using, it's called DomainTools.com. And Domain Tools is one of the many websites out there you can get information about, what your website, your competitor's website. And I'm just, Corey, do you have a website in mind, or do you have the, if the person that has the question doesn't mind sharing his web address with you?
Yeah, Kurt, if you got
we'll go through that.
Yeah, Kurt, go ahead and put your website into the chat box real quick so we can take a look-see there. Slimberry.org. SLIMBE.
Okay, slow down. You're over-modulating, Corey. Slow down a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, what's your first letter?
Yeah, it's Slim, as in like a Slim Jim.
Slim?
Yep.
Okay.
Slimberry, B-E.
Okay.
R-R-Y. Yeah, B-E-R-R-Y.
B-E.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. .org.
.org. Okay, so we got slimberry.org. So this is the domain.
Is it V or B? It's like B as in boy. So B as in boy. Sorry about that. It's Slim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, B as in boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me copy this here. Well, this one is for sale.
Made for the weight loss industry. There we go.
And I compliment whomever's website this is. They're using the .org. .coms and .orgs, I feel are still very popular and very easy to optimize. And and you get. Okay, so we're coming up with the information here. And so this is the information we have on the website. Now, this is something that's going to be bothersome to me. If we look at the reversed IP address, we see that there's 3,347 other websites that are using the same IP address. And I'm not logged in with my account here, but I'm sure, if I went and I looked at these other websites, well, here we could see a couple of them. If I logged in with my account, I'm sure one of these 3,000 websites are going to be something what I call a bad neighbor. Somebody that might be selling pharmaceuticals, somebody that's got naked pictures of their neighbor. Something that's questionable, all right, which could cause the entire IP address to be blocked. Now, it's only going to cost a few dollars more to get your own IP address. So right off the bat, I'm going to recommend, hey, you're using something here that's called virtual IP hosting. You're probably only paying a few dollars a month for this. But the problem is, again, you're sharing that IP address. Get your own IP address. This is something that's going to hurt you. If you're going to share your IP address, don't share it with 3,000 people that you don't know. At least share it with people that you do know. So that's something that's definitely going to be a problem for you. Another thing that I would do, Corey, do I have permission to go to this guy's website?
Yeah, go for it. That's okay with you, Kurt, right?
Okay, because I just don't want to.
Okay, yeah, he says okay.
Just do a little site review. All right, just do a little site review. Again, this is just kind of an open type of thing. Now I got if you notice here in my toolbar, I have a little tool. This is a tool called from CMOS. And what I'm able to do is see immediately how many backlinks are to a website and how many or to a particular page. So you're in a very, very competitive niche right off the bat. And to compete in this niche, you're going to need quite a few backlinks. And right now, you only have 10 backlinks from 4 domains. From experience and knowing people in this particular niche, you're going to need a lot more links. So that's something that would kind of concern me. But this is something else I want to kind of look here. And I'm just going to be doing a really quick site review. We brought up the domain name here, with slimberry.org. I want to try something here. I've never been on this website before, but let's see if this website comes up with the www, all right? And see what happens. All right? Well, okay, so one thing I was checking, now it does resolve to the slimberry.org, and this is very important. There's if this site would come up with the www root also, you can suffer something that's called the duplicate content slap. But, that's not going to be an issue here because it will not resolve to the www. If you have a website, that's something you want to check. Make sure, put in the www, see dot whatever your website name is, and also the non-www version. And if you're able to come up with both of them, with the www and the non-www version, you can suffer with something called the duplicate content slap from Google. And something you want to do is called the 3-in-1 redirect. I know it sounds a little advanced, but it's something very simple to do. Those of you that are not familiar with it, you might just go to Fiverr. Fiverr.com, those of you that have not never heard of it. And for $5, you could probably get somebody to edit your HT access file to fix that so it doesn't go. Now, this is something else I'm going to do here. I'm trying to remember the website. Steve, what's the website again for checking the syntax of a website? W3. Yeah, W3. Okay. My mind just went back here. But if you just go to Google and you type W3 validator, now this is something else you want to do. This is something that's come up with Panda, and it's become more and more important. And this is a real simple way that you could check to see if your website is within compliance of the W3 markup validation. And you just type in your website address. What this is going to do is check for any errors. And you just press the check button and see if it comes up look at anything and see what happens here. And okay, there's 2 errors. That's not really that bad. But what's going to be nice here, you can see exactly what the errors are. And errors found while checking this document. It believes it's just basically a validation output error. Well, I like to use this. We have a lot of clients that come to us because their websites don't show up in Google, don't optimize well. And this is one of the first things we'll check. And I've seen websites, guys, that have literally hundreds and hundreds of errors. And I say, I don't know who designed your website, but obviously they didn't do a good job and they haven't checked this. So again, here's just a simple little tip, something you could do. And this is something this is your doc type, something that you could go inside and edit inside you can go to view source, page source. All right, and this is what the error is coming in here. Now, I'm not a big programmer, but again, if you're this is something that you perhaps could do a little research on to see why exactly that line is giving you an error. Perhaps there's something in this document that says, no, it's going to be a little more advanced, and you just kind of go in there. Now, here while we're in here, let's kind of look at some other things. This is the source code, and those of you that are not familiar, have a look at your source code. Here's the website that we brought it up. We just go to View, Page Source, and this is the actual back-end code for the website. Now, this is the most important item on your website, guy. It's the title of your website, and it's Slimberry. And basically what you're doing is you're telling Google and the world what this web page is all about. You're allowed to have 69 characters in that area. It's good that you're using a keyword, but you might put in something else in there, some other keywords people might be searching for. It's not very descriptive. So, if and when your website does show up in Google, it's only going to be listed Slimberry. Not very informative. And I'm going to just kind of scroll down here. The next thing we're going to look for is your page description. I see that you have the one in the SEO pack in here. So that's a good thing. But now let's take a look where the description of the page is. Let's scroll back up there. Okay, there it is. Okay. Where is it? Oh, yeah, right there. Okay. Now, here's your description. Slimberry liquid supplement. That's not very descriptive. You're going now in your native description keyword tag area. I believe the count. I have to go back in my notes, but it's basically you're looking at about 150 characters. All right, and make that a little bit more descriptive. Exactly what your page is all about. Put some keywords in there. All right. So it's going to optimize, and so it's going to show up. Now, the next thing in here is you have your keywords. Now, this tag is totally useless. Google, Yahoo, and Bing totally ignores this. So you spent a little time in here putting in some keywords. Well, it's not going to do you any good. So unless you have something on your website where you're able to do a search, and let me just take this off. I don't see a search box on your website where people could search for articles or stuff. And sometimes that keywords will come into play when you have a search box. So unless you have that or some other reason to have it, just don't even bother with it.